Press the button.
This meeting is being recorded.
Lovely. Fantastic. All right. Welcome everyone to our Tuesday night team call. So excited to have everyone. And I'm sure that we'll have some people that are joining us. We are at like Magic Week, like times 10, I feel like. Like this is just a really, really exciting week. I'm watching people just really lean into their goals, and I'm so proud of you all. I'm doing the same thing in between painting, and it's just, yeah, it's going to be an amazing week. I'm so excited to see where everyone ends up. That's the sound of ceiling tiles coming out of a package. Shh, Nolan says. Very quiet. Shh. It's fine. It's fine. Because I'm not talking tonight. It's totally great. I'm so pleased to hand all of the responsibility over to other people, and I'm going to sit here and take notes, and I'm so excited. So here's the lineup for tonight. Y'all need to make sure you have a pen and paper and all the things. We have Lisa, who's going to be sharing her story, her journey to where she was, how she got here, where she is now. I hope you'll share some of your goals and dreams with us too. But I'm really excited because this is another 10-10-10 call. So Lisa's got 10, and then we've got Sherry, who is going to try to fit all of BioCleanse into 10 minutes. And if you've been here for like a second, you'll know that BioCleanse is like the most underrated product ever, and we could know so much more about it. So she's going to give us a 10-minute spiel on BioCleanse. And then Trisha is going to take us through her strategies as far as casting vision, how she caught the vision, casting vision on leadership, and helping to develop silvers. So without any further ado, I'm going to get Lisa to unmute herself, and we're going to hear from her. Awesome. Yay. Thanks for jumping in here, Lisa. So excited to hear from you.
Hi. Okay. So I was asked to do my testimony. I have little like sticky notes, of course, everywhere because I'm going to forget everything. I was saying to Janelle this morning that I wish I would have written everything down because so much has happened since I started in regards to my health. And I didn't pay attention to like exactly when. So I'll do my best to kind of give a little bit of a timeline on how it went. But I used to struggle.
No one's going to tell you you're wrong either. So like, just go with it.
That's true. So for many, many years, I was really struggling with chronic pain and brain fog, IBS symptoms that were just obviously affecting my life. And I was going to doctors, trying to figure out what was going on, trying different things, trying different supplements that just never worked. Would go to the doctor and he'd give me kind of another Band-Aid prescription of sorts for whatever it may be. And it just never worked. So I was constantly trying to find something. And funny part about it is I was spending so much money and so much time when it was actually kind of right in front of me for the last little while. And I started talking to Nikki Crawford reached out to me, and she asked me if it would be something that I thought would help. And for some reason, it took a whole year for me to be like, fine. I just, there was so much resistance because I had to do this first and I had to do this first. And I just never made it a priority. And so there was a local event here in Regina, and I went and checked it out and was blown away by the people and by everybody's stories. And so I thought, well, what the heck, I may as well give it a go. What do I have to lose? And I don't know if I ever did say I had a splurge group and I won. So I had $200 that I had to spend on my very own self. So that is actually when I finally agreed to go for it. And so I remember sitting down and just listening to everything and learning so much that I was so excited to get my package, and I had my little slim trial pack, and I was super pumped about it and just waiting for my stuff to come. And when it finally came, I thought, oh, this just has to be it. It has to be the thing that finally helps me. And so I started. I was reluctant, but I was hopeful. And within a week, I noticed already that the IBS symptoms were so much better, and the chronic pain was already feeling a little bit better, and my energy was coming up. And I was paying a little bit more attention to that. So of course I was able to start moving my body, which of course helps big time. And so the chronic pain was an amazing thing because it was just something I started to live with, and it was just normal. And I would get through my day and be almost amazed that I made it through my day before Plexus and before being consistent on Plexus for a little while. And not having that barrier to my everyday and not being so exhausted just because I had to get through my day was gigantic in my world. But the little things that I started to notice too were the brain fog that was lifting. My memory was absolutely terrible, and I certainly don't claim to have a great memory still, but it is much better. And of course, like, anxiety levels went down because I was feeling better and because my guts were healthier. And that of course makes a big difference too. My sleep improved big time. I sleep with like a baby, and I pre Plexus, I had a terrible time sleeping, and I'd wake up a bazillion times in the night. And I do still wake up often, but I get really, really good sleeps, and I fall asleep in a snap, like no issue there whatsoever. Another thing I noticed too is my allergies really improved. I used to be so allergic that I couldn't go into somebody's house who had a cat or a dog, and I would have to like sit on the wooden chair or whatever I could that would have no cat hair or no dog hair on it. And even if I would just go in for a few minutes, right away my eyes were swollen and I was sneezing and they're watering, and it's not a beautiful thing. But I now have a cat in my own house, and we started fostering cats as well. So that was interesting too. We have one of our very own cats that we have, and no fosters at the moment, but that in itself is incredible because when I was growing up, I did have cats, but I was a disaster all the time, and I was just sick all the time because of allergies. But yeah, it's pretty amazing how far one can come just when paying attention to their health and using supplements that work, that aren't just the ones off the shelf at the store that have a lot of science and thought that goes into it. And that really makes a difference. So since starting Plexus, obviously that's a lot of issues that have gotten a whole lot better. And what I started with was when I began, I forgot to mention, I started with Slim, Ease, and Vital Biome. And after I was able to earn some perks and stuff like that, I did try X Factor and Ease, and ProbioCA is a godsend in my world. I also use now the lean very regular in the greens as well. I think that's all the products that I use at the moment, but yeah, I know that probably wasn't 10 minutes, but maybe Janelle, you have a question that because I know you know some things, and I can't tell if Nikki is on here because I'm on my phone, but is there anything that I missed?
Here, but she's quiet because she's at a family dinner tonight. So she's like speaking her ear in. She's like, I'm here. So I just want to know, because obviously you came in, you're incredibly busy. You work full time, probably more than full-time hours. Guys, she came alone to this event that she started at. She came alone. She was so excited about it. She actually came the wrong night.
I did.
And then came back the next night. So like, she's got this stick to itness that we just love about her. Her like sponsor was floored. Nikki was floored, A, that she showed up, and then B, that she actually signed up. I will say, I love remembering this night. Nikki actually, so they did an event in Regina, and we did an event in Saskatoon. And Nikki couldn't be at either. And she won the door prize for having the most people come to the event that she had invited, that just showed up without her even being there. So just put that in your pocket for a second. And then of course, Lisa signed up. So Lisa, how did you go from waiting a year to join Plexus just for your health to being super consistent in your business? Like choosing to do a business and being really consistent, because you've been consistent for ever since you decided to start sharing.
There's been ebbs and flows, that's for sure, but it's not hard to do, to even to do a Facebook post and just and share about the products or a testimony or just what you like about it in general, is a pretty easy thing to do because we're on Facebook all the time. So that's one thing that social media has been a godsend. And I actually really had a kind of a love-hate relationship with Facebook prior to, but it's an amazing way to get information out there, and people are there to read and see it. But reaching out on Messenger, just a little bit here and a little bit there, shooting one message in the morning and one in the afternoon, or even one a day for me. And it's not always that often either, but you take the opportunities when you can fit them in. And certainly there's more opportunities for me to do it. But yeah, I do focus on like family and make sure that I get that in after work and stuff like that. So my little bits in a break or a lunch break has been kind of how I've been able to do that. And waking up early morning on the weekend.
And you've been incredibly effective that way too. I want to share what Nikki shared about Lisa's journey. She said, oh, and when she first started, she was thinking of taking her stuff really slowly in low doses to make it last longer. And then Nikki said, I was like, or you could share and grab some friends and get your products paid for. Like, hello. And I'm glad that you chose the second option, because I know that you wouldn't have seen the same results. So thank you so much for sharing with us. If there's anything else that you happen to remember while you're on the call, just pop it in the chat and we'll share it. But thank you so much. So now we're on to BioCleanse, which, I mean, glory, hallelujah. Can I get like a number? No, give me a number 2 in the chat. Give me a number 2 in the chat if you will never go without your BioCleanse. And like that can you can take that as literally as you would like to. Excellent. All right, Sherry. Sherry is actually going to screen share for us. I love it.
I am, because someone told me that I was supposed to be keeping this to 10 minutes. And there is no way that I can talk about BioCleanse in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I know, right?
So I have a new strategy. I am going to give you information on the screen that I'm not going to tell you. And you don't even have to worry about taking pictures or anything or making notes, because it's all going to be there for you in the Leader Lounge because it's recorded. So the first thing I'm going to say is, what can we say about BioCleanse? It's really simple. The ingredients are really simple, and what we can say is really simple. Basically, it helps to relieve irregularity. It's a saline laxative, helps to relieve occasional constipation, helps increase water in the intestine, and thereby promotes bowel movement. Gets out the junk. The label, 2 ingredients, 2 medicinal ingredients on the label: magnesium hydroxide and vitamin C. There's a few non-medicinal ingredients, and that includes bioflavonoids and sodium bicarbonate. It's a very simple, clean product. But there's more to the story, and that's where things start to get exciting. So magnesium is a critical mineral in the human body. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't be here. It is involved in 80% of known metabolic functions. So every organ in your body, particularly your heart, your muscles, your kidneys, all require magnesium. So researchers have now detected over 3,000 magnesium binding sites on human proteins, indicating that its role in human health and disease may have been vastly underestimated. It helps detoxification, it activates muscles and nerves, it's critical for energy production, and the list goes on. So the next question, how much do I need every day? Well, again, we've got some research that says males need 400 to 420 milligrams, females 310 to 320, more if they're pregnant. But remembering that's the minimum amount needed to ward off deficiency. That assumes that your body is extremely healthy and able to absorb it properly. So, how would you get that from food? Well, one of the following would provide that amount. 2.5 cups of raw spinach, half a cup of pumpkin seeds. I could maybe do the pumpkin seeds. 5 cups of almonds, not a chance. 10 bananas, no way. And I'm not going to eat 5.5 cups of black beans. So I've got a problem on the food side. But there's more. Let's assume eating enough. Then what? Am I actually absorbing enough? So our soils are more depleted. So first of all, our foods are not as nutrient dense as they were. When we cook food, it decreases the magnesium. Processing decreases the magnesium content. If we have an excess intake of sugar or caffeine or a few other things, that means we need more magnesium. Our age affects our body's ability to absorb magnesium. If we have digestive issues, that means it lowers our ability to actually absorb the magnesium. And if we're taking certain medications, then in addition to all that, we need to have calcium, vitamin A, and vitamin D with our magnesium, all at balanced levels in the body for them to work together. And just to make that more complicated, calcium and magnesium use the same receptors. So when they're taken together, they're competing. Well, things are getting more complicated. Well then, how else? Unlike other minerals, magnesium can be absorbed along the entire length of the gastrointestinal tract, but different parts of it contribute different amounts of absorption. So why does it matter? It means the whole digestive tract, all of it has to be 100% healthy for us to get the most value from the magnesium in our food or in our supplements. So, next big question that comes up, which form of magnesium? There's at least 10 different forms of magnesium, and there's numerous research studies to determine which form is the best. What's the best absorbability? What's the best retention? Well, I did a little perusing, and I found studies that said it was magnesium gluconate. I found studies that said magnesium citrate or magnesium diglycinate or maybe magnesium malate or maybe even magnesium acetyltaurate. There just hasn't been enough research done for us to understand it very well. So what do we know? Well, most of us need more magnesium. We're not getting enough in our food. Stress is one of the factors that interferes with absorption, and we know stress is a factor in our daily lives. We can't store magnesium, so if we have excess, it gets excreted. So you know what? Maybe that's not a bad thing. If we got a little excess, let it go. If we don't have enough, that's more of a challenge. Many studies say magnesium citrate is the most absorbable form, which is very interesting because BioCleanse contains magnesium hydroxide, which, when combined with vitamin C, forms a magnesium citrate. So the brilliance of how ingredients are combined is key to our body's ability to use them. So, how many people are deficient? Well, you can find just about as many research studies with different numbers as you want to look for. Anywhere from, well, these studies were 50% to 75%, but it's pretty common for the studies to say over 50% of people are deficient. How do we know we're deficient? Well, it's difficult. there's only about 1% of total body magnesium present in the blood. So, will a blood test tell you? It's pretty difficult to get an accurate measurement of total magnesium content from a blood test alone, because it measures what's in the blood. It doesn't tell you whether it's in the cells. It doesn't tell you whether it's getting to the cells. So there are various other ways of measuring, but unless you're using a huge combination of them, you're probably not going to get a real accurate understanding. So what else can we do to get some idea whether magnesium would be a benefit? Well, there's a list of symptoms of magnesium deficiency, including some of these I have on the screen, like anxiety, like asthma symptoms, like bowel issues, like fatigue or heart disease or insomnia or kidney issues, hypoglycemia, migraines. Like the list goes on and on and on. If you want to get really into it, you can look at this book, which is an incredible resource. It's called The Magnesium Miracle. It's written by Carolyn Dean, and I'm not going to share everything in the book tonight in the 10 minutes I'm working on. Thank heavens. However, if you really want to dive into it, it's an incredible resource. The easy way, if you're dealing with some of these symptoms, why not try magnesium? It's very inexpensive. If it shifts the symptoms, it's very beneficial. So the early signs can be quite, well, minute is maybe not the word, but small, like loss of appetite or maybe some nauseousness or fatigue. But if the deficiency is ongoing, the symptoms can become extremely severe. If we take a look at a little bit of the chemistry, we think about how much we should take as a support. If you're adjusting it and you're taking too much, remember I said it just excreted, right? So you can use anywhere from 1 capsule to 6. And that's going to depend on all the factors I've been talking about in terms of absorption and your ability to actually use it in your body. If you take more than you can use, it simply gets excreted. That's the indicator. Just back off a little bit. Take a little bit less. Take your BioCleanse separate. Take 1 at a time. Separate your dosages. Give your body a chance to actually absorb the most that it can. And if you have a little bit too much, it's not a big deal. The magnesium hydroxide actually reduces the acidity of the ascorbic acid, and that still slightly acidic liquid helps with the more absorption of the magnesium. So again, we go back to the magic of the combination that we have in BioCleanse. So what else in BioCleanse? We've got vitamin C, and we've probably got a pretty good idea of what vitamin C does. I mean, it's needed for adrenal gland function. We need it for healthy gums, teeth. It enhances our immune function. A big one is that vitamin C enhances the body's absorption of iron. So anybody that's challenged with iron absorption, having additional vitamin C is an amazing support for them. What about the bioflavonoids that are there? Well, they enhance the use of the vitamin C. So again, these products are designed to work together. They are formulated so that that's their best way of supporting our body. We know that bioflavonoids increase glutathione levels, they're antioxidants, they support cardiovascular health. There's science that says they help varicose veins, they help hemorrhoids, they help blood, or all of the blood things, help to prevent buildup of plaque on artery walls as effectively as aspirin, really, but without the side effects. So we do know that bioflavonoids are a really valuable piece of what we need to be including in our diet. Can I get too much? Again, excess is just excreted in the urine. It is not a big deal. Sodium bicarbonate. Now, this is an interesting one that's in our BioCleanse product. And I'm actually kind of excited about this one because what does it do? It acts as a buffering agent against acidity. So it helps to negate the effects of acidosis. And so many times we hear that an acidic environment is not a healthy environment for our cells. So sodium bicarbonate helps to buffer that, helps to balance the pH in our body. So that means it helps with bone loss. It increases ketone production, a little bit of an increase in a metabolic rate. It helps with things like heartburn, indigestion, acid reflux. It actually helps cleanse our bowel of that excess fecal matter. So even though it's not considered a significant ingredient in BioCleanse, it's a really valuable ingredient. So BioCleanse, as a result of our modern lifestyle, most of our bodies are burdened with excess waste and a slowed down metabolism. BioCleanse energizes our body while it gets rid of the excess waste, and it works to soften that intestinal plaque and speed up the removal. How awesome is that? If you have questions, I wasn't timing and I didn't let Amy make anything in the chat to tell me. So if you've got questions,
Throw them her way. That's amazing. Yeah. I'm so proud of you for putting all of that into that short a period of time. That's amazing. I want to know, I know that some people were sharing in the chat just as Trisha's kind of getting warmed up. I want to know, I know Trisha, Amy, and Diana all shared how many they take a day, but I want you guys to share in the chat how many BioCleanse you take every day, just so that everyone sees the difference in between all of these. And all of y'all that are like, I take 1 or 2 have looked at me and Amy and they're like, y'all are crazy. Like, I would never get off the throne. Yeah. Yep. And actually the other day I took 4 at bedtime instead of 3. Usually I split 3 and 3. I took 4 and I was so much happier in the morning. But amazing how everybody's bodies are different and they need different things, right? And again, to encourage you that there's very few things with Plexus that you need to stick to the back of the bottle on. You can assess what your body needs and you can make adjustments going forward. All right. Yes, Jimmy, I love that. 4 a day, but if close to my cycle, sometimes 6.
A lot of people are concerned with their bowel movements being too loose. I just don't even worry about it because the reality is I want to get rid of the toxins and I'd rather have it a little bit on the loose side than sticky.
Yep. Don't want to leave nothing behind. Let's just put it that way. All right. Trisha, I'm going to get you to unmute. You're going to give us your wisdom and insight tonight. Guys, sorry, can we just have a minute? If I ever do a product information thing, there will not be slides. Unless Sherry makes them, because I'm just like, can we just take a second to appreciate everyone's strengths? Sherry is working in hers tonight, graphic design and all of the green fun Dr. Sherry knowledge. Now we're going to have Trisha show up in her strength, which is teaching, and she's going to teach us everything that we need to know about leadership development and casting vision and developing silvers. So take it away, Trisha.
All right. I think I'll just start with very quickly. I started for the products like most of us. And of course, Jimmy Lou did a really great job of saying, hey, do you have 3 people, this and that. And I was like, well, I just want to see how things go. And it was around the 6-month mark where she was like, why don't you come to what's it called in January? What's that? Super Saturday?
Super Saturday.
Yeah, she said, there's Super Saturday. Why don't you come and check it out? And I thought, okay. And up until that point, I had kind of been hopping on my bike and reading testimonies. That would be my time to go into True North Health and Happiness. And those are the places, and just read the testimonies, starting to build my belief in the products. And I think that was really important. And I'm pretty sure that was Jimmy Lou's suggestion. because as I read the testimonies, I'm like, this stuff works. And for me, it did take a little bit of time for me to really notice a lot of differences. I wasn't one of those ones that noticed a lot right away. But within the year, all of my symptoms had pretty much gone away. And so that was pretty amazing. But it was at 6 months where I thought, you know what? I like these. Pretty sure I'm not going to go off of them. So I might as well get my products paid for. So that's when I started off with, I actually wanted to reach out to my family and close friends first before I made my first post. And so that's what I did. And then I got my sister and my mom. Then I made my first post. I got a friend, and that was my first 3. And went silver. And as that kind of grew, then, it slowly built, adding on Testimony Tuesday. And I was posting in Facebook. And then I was like, someone said, well, you can post in stories. I'm like, stories, what's that? So, and this is only, it'll be 2 years ago in January. So I was like, stories? What stories? Anyways, so I've grown that way. But I think we just want to get to the business side of things, and how to get people to go silver. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned is talking to people earlier about it. I'm still working through this, but I just listened to that Alita video the other day, and it was just simple. Like, would you be open to making money? Like, is this something that you'd like to have a conversation? It's not a commitment. Would you be open to making money? So that's one of those statements that I'm going to try and start incorporating a little bit more. But I think planting the seed as early as possible is planting a seed, and they may or may not be ready, but it's kind of like how we plant seeds with getting people to come on board with Plexus. They're all going to be ready in their time, and we just have to be planting the seeds. So just talking to them about being bold and asking 3 friends who can come along with you. Do you have 3 friends? Sometimes they get yes, sometimes they get no. And then I talk to them also about, okay, who are 10 people that are closest to you? Reach out to them. I send them a message, a sample message, like you can insert and make it your own, but here's an example. So you just give them the resources that they can do, that they can use. Same thing for their first post. I give them an example of my first post, and then I just say, like, you can do this. Here's my testimony, especially if they don't really have a testimony. They can use my testimony and then say, I'm looking forward to this, with a picture, making their first post, and then helping them notice if someone has commented on or wants more information. One of my downlines, so my girl who just went silver, one of her girls posted just like out of the blue. We hadn't really even talked to her about, I think I did actually. I did say something to her. She had noticed something like within the first week. And I'm like, well, when you're ready to tell your story, you could impact a lot of people. And that's kind of all I said. And just all of a sudden, we saw her post. And that was the one that I put in some of the chats that I was almost in tears over it, because I'm just so happy for her. She's really struggled and already noticing such a difference. And so I think helping people, it's building belief, helping people understand that these products won't just affect their lives, but they actually change other people's lives, and helping them see that so that they have a greater cause. It's not about making money. It's not about, in the end, getting your products paid for. It's about, how can I impact lives for the better? And that becomes the driver of all of it. Let's see, what else did I have here? Oh yeah, one of the things I heard this on, I don't know, one of the videos about how to go silver, and they talked about utilizing 3-way messenger chat. And I have to be honest, the first time, like, I think Jimmy Lou said 3-way messenger chat to me, and I was like, okay, like 3 of us have to get on the phone and talk, and I had no idea what 3-way messenger chat was back at the beginning, but started to understand the power of this, and the idea of saying to your ambassadors, look, if you ever hear of someone struggling, connect them with me on a 3-way chat and I'll take it from there. You don't even have to be the expert. So you kind of take the load off them. And that's what I utilized for my 2 that just recently went silver, is I did 3-way messenger chat with all of their people. And so it was pretty powerful because it took the load off my newbies who didn't know a lot. And it's hard for me to say that, you know, I knew more than them, but I do. And so I wanted to support them in that. And that just built the confidence in them. And then they took it from there. So yeah, I feel like that's kind of a lot of what I've done so far. I do a lot, like I listen to people about the business and try to learn as much as I can. And I make notes. My notes, Janelle, is insane. Like yours used to be, I think. Mine still is insane. And just, yeah, try to find new ways to say things, new ways to inspire people to jump on board. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Does that help?
That was absolutely amazing. Amazing.
Thanks.
So I'm going to put this recording in the Leader Lounge, and whoever has questions for Trisha, whoever wants to like pick her brain more, you're going to ask questions in the comments, because you know what else that's going to do? It's going to bump up the video and other people are going to see it who are in the Leader Lounge. They're going to be like, I missed the team call. I can't believe I missed that. And they're going to want to be on the next one. Thank you all so much for coming tonight. This was like a fantastic call. I am just so thankful that we have people that are willing to share. All of it was so valuable. I took so much away. So guys, we are running, right? What is that verse? Run with perseverance. The race marked out for you. For you shall earn shoes. No, that's an ad-lib. Maybe that's the amplified version, right? Is that like, can we call it that? It's the amplified version. Anyway, it's fine. 3 new signups this month and you get yourself a pair of shoes. Well, it's a gift card towards shoes, or you help somebody on your level 1 rank up. So if you have somebody that you know in your level 1 who has people that they could talk to, if your husband happens to be one of your ambassadors and he's got friends at work and you're like, y'all need to get on the product, you can do that, and then you can get shoes and he can get shoes. Y'all can get shoes, right? Like, think about this. Hello. Okay. Anyway, I digress. But one thing I will say is a little birdie told me on the Jewel call the other day that you really want to bring people in before the end of the month, because you and they will all benefit massively from what is coming next month. I can't even say that I know, because I don't know. I actually don't know. They didn't tell us. So y'all just keep on doing what you're doing. And remember, it never looks like it's going to work out until it actually does. So excited to close this month with you. We will talk to you next week on the 1st. On the 1st of November. What a great way to kick off November. We'll have lots to share. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Don't forget, 1 cent shipping continues until the end of the month. Have a great night. Goodbye.